Hello, my name is Derek from Tomcat Gas Training, and today we've got a special inside the boiler casing where we're going to look at the new Worcester 8000 Lifestyle range of boilers. Now the Lifestyle range of boilers is now going to be replacing the old CDI Classic range. Now I'd like to thank Lee Kane from Worcester Boilers, who's arranged their training vehicle to come to our gas centre today so we can have a closer look at it. But before we look at this boiler in the van, why don't we have a look at this brand new glossy brochure that Worcester have produced to give us some information on what we should expect on this new boiler. So let's have a look at that now. Now, let's have a look at this glossy brochure produced by Worcester to introduce us to the Green Star 8000 Lifestyle before we go out and have a look at it in the truck. So, first page gives us an introduction into the style and the substance and why they've made this boiler and why it is replacing the old CDI Classic. And you can see a photograph there of the casing missing off the boiler. Now this page is quite important. This is our specification. So you can see from the top it says it's a combi of regulars. They go from 30 to 50 kilowatts, where our system boiler goes from 30 to 35 kilowatts. Now flue lengths, you can see our 30 kilowatt goes up to 17 meters horizontal and 21 meters vertical, but our 50 kilowatts 9 meters and 15 meters. You can see all the clearances there as from the sides, as you know, we'll talk about that a bit later. Now look at our combi flow rate of hot water at 35 and 40 degree rise. If you look at the 40 degree rise, so we're looking here, our 50 kilowatt boiler gives us 17.9 litres a minute. Obviously, if we've got that coming in, we've only got 9 litres coming in, why would you want to fit a 50 kilowatt boiler? But there you go. And you can see our output on central heating is 3 to 30. Okay, but then you can see anything above the 35 kilowatts, our heating goes up to 35 kilowatts on heating, 35 kilowatts on hot water, and you can see the rest of them there on our heating ones, they're all 35, so 3 to 35, but our hot water is obviously 50, 45, 40, and so on. You can see they're all ERP rated at 94%, and obviously as we put on our controls that will increase, so their room stat would add another 3 on there. Okay, so that would take it up to 97%. So that's our efficiency, and you can all see they're A rated. Okay, so that's our specifications for this boiler. Now, next page is introducing us to these two different boilers. This is the Life boiler, this is the lower range one. This only comes in white and has a black and white screen. Okay, and you can see the benefits there, which I'll leave so you can just read those, so you can pause it and read. Now the Style, which is the top of the range, comes with a full colour screen, and the way the RF stats work are differently on this boiler than it is on the Life. Okay, and again you can see the different benefits there from the Life boiler. Okay, this does come in black and white. Now this page shows us that, hey, a Worcester boiler where you only need one screw to take the cover off. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that, and you can take all the sides off. So I'm going to fully go through this so you can see it. Now you can see we've got one quick release button now for the trap, so that makes it more positive, and our flue comes in a silver colour, so we can buy an extra silver flue. Now next, this is a combustion cover. I'm going to go through this. I'll only mention this now because we've got enough to look at with the boiler, but they do have an internal pressure gauge, which you can only see as an engineer once the cover's removed. The customer won't see that. They get a digital display on the front cover, but only if there's a fault. Now we are going to be looking at the automatic fill line as well, so that puts different faults up, but we'll look at that when we get out to the boiler. But I'll only mention this now. There you will see there is a manual pressure gauge as well as a digital one on the front. Now you can see on this one the hydro block and the wiring, but what I want to do is zoom in here And then this is the cartridge you're going to, well, you won't see because I don't think Dave, who's brought this van from Worcester, has one of these. This is the RF sender receiver for the RF stat. What this does with the style boiler is turn the digital front into the time clock as well. It doesn't do it on the life, it only does it on the style. Okay, so this is a like a plug-in cartridge. You'll see it a bit further along. They call it a key. Now this is the digital display. This is the fancy front. It's touchscreen. I'm going to go right the way through this, or quite a bit through this, so I won't spend any time now. But this is all touchscreen, just like your phone. Now these are the controls. Okay, this is the internet stat control. Again, this is the thermostat. Looks a bit more like your phone again. This is the cartridge, what plugs into the boiler. Now this here, which is on a stand, is the bit what pairs with this. This has to be plugged in. This isn't battery operated. Okay, so this will need to be plugged in somewhere as well. Okay, so it connects to your smartphone, but that needs power to it. That plugs into your boiler. And then you can see here the actual front as well. So again, this can be white or black, the front of here. And again, your cheaper option for your Green Star Comfort 2 RF is this one. This still does everything the same, and again, it gives you the 3% on your Boiler Plus. So there's a picture of the silver flume. We're going to really look at this closely. This is our automatic filling loop. You can see the benefits and everything from the filling system. Okay, so this is the filling loop, this is the flue. We're going to look at these a bit closely. This page is self-explanatory. I won't mention the dimensions of this boiler again now because you've got them here. So again, I'll move my hand out of the way. You can see these freezing and you can actually see the distances and what's needed. So last two pages are basically the technical information you're going to need, the part numbers, and you've also got the accessories. Okay, and that's our quick look at the glossy magazine they've produced to promote this boiler. Now let's get out to that van and let's see it in the flesh. Okay, so we're inside the van now. We're having a look at the boiler itself. We've got Dave here from Worcester who's going to help us. Say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Okay, so you can see the front cover's really shiny. This is not glass. It's
toughened perspex.
Toughened perspex. Okay, so it's shiny, toughened perspex. So I'm sorry if you see Martin. Martin's behind the camera.
Hello there.
In the reflection. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is have a look on the outside. So we've got silver sides, we've got this black shiny front, and we've got a silver flue and silver top now. Okay, now this one is on the lifestyle version, the style one. The life one is white, but instead of having this colour screen, has a black and white one. This is also available in white. Are the sides still silver, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, the sides are still silver. So this is the one you would fit in your fancy kitchen, so it's on show. The white version of this would go in your garage or your utility room or whatever. Okay, so this is your fancy one. So we're going to take the cover off first. So the first thing we need to do is take the tray off the bottom. So come in close, Martin. So basically we just need to pull those together and the full bottom comes off. There should be a screw here. Okay, so Dave's just told us now that anything green we can access. So if we press these two green buttons, the front cover comes off. Remember, there should be a screw there. So we can now take the fancy cover off. Okay, now you can see the combustion chamber is now completely sealed. This outer casing is not the combustion chamber like the old Worcesters. Okay, so if you were doing any sweep testing on this boiler, you would do it with this front cover off, and you would sweep test the seal in here. because this is our combustion chamber. So let's take the side panels off, because this is incredibly easy. Lift the front off. That slot in the front there is where the front cover, so Martin, if you see that, that goes into there. So that literally clips into there. So that's easy enough. So these now slide out. Okay, so that's one side. We can now slide out the other side. So you've now got full access. Again, we've got two green tabs here. So Dave says if we press the green tabs, we can get in. So we can now get in, and you can now see these green buttons here for the condensate trap. So again, it's a quick release trap. You can just press the button and it twists and slides forward. Or we can get into the PCB. Remember, before you go into the PCB, always make sure you follow the safe isolation, otherwise you get electrocuted. Okay, now it's just, again, if you come in, Martin, there's two tabs here, so you can see them, press them together, he says, and it'll lift out. So you can see the PCB is pretty much like the old one. Now just take a look at this purpley coloured one here, where my finger is. So that is where the automatic filling loop goes. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So again, this will work off the Worcester's own controls. What do you call them? M-bus? EMS bus. Okay. EMS bus. Okay. So we'll have a quick look at controls in a bit. So let's have a look at the hydro block at the bottom. We have our ERP pump. Okay. Now, when I saw the photographs of this, I couldn't believe we've still got the rubber boot on here. Okay, we've still got the flow turbine going into here, and if that drips, we've still got the little guttering there. Okay, so I was quite surprised that that was still like that. Maybe that's a change they could have made, but they didn't. So this looks a lot underneath like all the CDI Classic. Now, Dave tells us that the spacings for the pipework is exactly the same as the old CDI Classic. So this will just CDI Classic off the wall, this one back on. Now, this isn't a direct replacement, this one, is it?
Life version.
The life version is the direct replacement for the CDI Classic, where this is the next step up, because this is your fancier boiler. But the pipe configurations are completely the same. Okay, same for the flue at the top. So this is exactly the same place as the CDI Classic. So starting, still the same. We've still got our flow pipe on the left. We've still got our hot water. We've still got our gas in the middle. We've still got our cold water inlet, and we've still got our return on that side. Okay, so pretty much standard Worcester stuff. Okay, now we've got the expansion vessel like the CDI Classic, which is inside the boiler, unlike the juniors which were on the back. So a lot easier to access this now. And again, if this was stuck in the middle, no cupboards around it, how easy is this to access? Okay, really easy. Okay, now we only need a screwdriver to get into the combustion cover, which is literally one screw here. So if we undo this screw, this will now come off. Okay, so again, comes off, lifts off, and we can now see our heat engine, combustion chamber, whatever you want to call it. Okay, main difference is from the CDI Classic is the gas valve. Let's change the gas valve and the way it works. So this actually gives you better outputs now. So this gives you 30, 35, 40, 45 or 50 kilowatts, unlike the Classic, which was 42 and 30, 38, did it do a 38? 38, 42. Okay, so it's improved that side of it. Heat exchanger is the same, but there are some slight differences at top end. I think fan's different as well.
Fan's different, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a fan which you can access without stripping the top off. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Flue system looks pretty much the same. Again, this looks dead easy to work on. Okay, now one of the things I do like about this boiler, this is the first time we've seen this boiler twice now. This is the first time we're up close to it. The first time we saw it was in Coventry, wasn't it, Martin?
Was, yeah.
And we couldn't get near it because there was that many people that were like flies round suites looking at it. Okay, now this is like a composite Okay, so this is like a composite. So remember, on the old boilers we all needed steel gloves to if we were lifting the boiler on and off. This now is, you're not going to cut your hands on this. Okay, this, I'm not a massive lover of Worcester, sorry Dave, the old one, but I think I could like this boiler because it looks easy to work on. Not that I've worked on it yet, but it looks easy to work on. You're not going to lose your fingers while you're working on it. It's a replacement for a CDI Classic, so there's less pipe work, easier to install. The commissioning procedure, I believe, is incredibly easy. Okay, so we're going to put it back together again and we're going to go through that. But servicing, repairs, stuff like that, if you come in here, Martin, so if you come in here, the main hydro block is only held on here and here, and if you undid all the connections, that comes all the way out, doesn't it? So that looks so easy to work on. Hopefully the composite's a bit better than all the other stuff Worcester's used, but I'm sure it is because it looks a quality boiler, this. Okay, so let's put it all back together again and let's have a look at the commissioning of this boiler. So far, it's looking good. Agreed, Martin?
It looks superb as far as I can see.
Agreed, Dave?
Of course it is.
Let's have a look at that now. Okay, so one of the things Dave has just told me I've not mentioned, which is a massive thing for Worcester, they've put the pressure relief valve on the front so it's easy access. According to the glossy brochure, this takes less than 10 minutes to change. Unlike the CDIs where it was around the back and you've basically taken the boiler off the wall. The thing is with this boiler is, everybody used to go on how hard it was to change that pressure relief valve at the back. But it's incredibly easy to take off the wall. It's only a matter of draining the boiler down and undoing the connections at the bottom, and it came off dead easy anyway. You just needed new seal kits and stuff like that. So I could never really understand why everybody went mad about you can't get at it and they did all these kind of fancy things to get actually access into it when they are dead easy to take off the wall anyway. So, new bit at the front. Thanks for that, Dave.
No problem.
Okay, now let's have a look at this fancy front. Now, it's a touchscreen display, but do you think it looks like my phone? so it's pretty much the same as an iPhone. Anyway, so let's have a look at this touchscreen display. Now, if it's lit, it means we can use those buttons. Now, it's on red here. That means it's the central heating temperature. And if we press this little button here, you can see it's going down. And if we press this button here, we can see it's going up. Okay, that's easy for the customer. If you want to change the hot water temperature, press the hot tap. It now says it's 39 degrees. We can go down with the arrow, or we can go up, and it's maximum. We can preset that. Okay, so whatever the customer wants, we can preset. So you see the little blue tick, that means it's accepted it, and it's accepted it at 45 degrees. Okay, but we can go in County Dave to change that.
Oh yeah, it comes out set at 60 degrees.
Comes out set at 60, but we can change that down so it's so kids can't mess with it or change it, and you know, stuff like that. Okay, now this button here is for the customer and us as well, but the customer now have got their own screen and they can go through. You can see we've got the preheat, so if we accept it, pressing the OK, we can turn it on or off. Okay, this little arrow here means we can go back. We can go down to boiler status, press the OK button. It's saying now the boiler's at 48 degrees C, and you can also see the pressure gauge at the bottom. Now we're going to look at the filling point in a minute, but this is telling us that we've got 1.5 bar in the system. Okay, again we can go back, and again we can come out of that setting. Now for us as engineers, if we want to put this in chimney sweep mode, we press the OK button and hold the button, and you can see now it's counting up, and it's now saying warning, chimney sweep mode must be only started by the installer. It's saying yes, so press OK. It's saying please wait, burner is now in maximum rate. How easy is that to put in? I think Worcester's chimney sweep mode has always been one of the market leaders and dead easy to get into. So if we want to go into minimum setting, you can see the minimum arrow is the only one lit and the back arrow's lit. It's now telling us the burner's on, and it's running at 100%, and it's telling us what the boiler temperature is. If I press the minimum arrow, it's now going to power to 10%. You can see the little blue tick is now saying it's going to go to 10% on minimum setting. So again, how easy is that to get into chimney sweep mode? And again, if we want to come out of chimney sweep mode, there's only that button lit, so we can't get it wrong. Even I can't get this one wrong. So we can come back out of it. It says cancel chimney sweep mode, press OK, and it says it's now back into normal. Now, if you are an engineer and you want to get into our settings, so this is where we can change the boiler, you press and hold these two buttons, and we can now see we're in our benchmark mode. Okay, now you can't beat a boiler when it's got a benchmark mode in it. This is one of the things I think most engineers lack, is their ability to do and fill in the benchmark. Okay, they just think banging a boiler on the wall, sticking a filter on it, running away is all they need to do. Okay, the boiler will do itself. Now we need to check this and we need to write it into the benchmark. So we press OK. You can now see what its actual temperatures for the boiler is. We can also see what our flow rate is. So if we turn the tap on, then that would tell us what our flow rate is. It will also tell us what our hot water temperature is. Okay, so for our benchmark book, we've got most of the stuff here. The only thing we haven't got is our return temperature. And I think most engineers make that up anyway, because they don't want it to make it look like their system's rubbish when their actual return temperature is coming back higher than 50 degrees. Remember, if a return temperature comes back higher than 50 degrees C, it ain't going to condensate. Okay, so and we don't want more than a 20-degree difference between your flow and return pipes, so it shows up basically the rad sizing and the pipe sizing. So well done Worcester for not putting the return temperature in. Okay, and again, if we want to come out, we can come out of that side. Okay, so we've got info setting, settings, function check, reset, demo mode. It doesn't exist in this boiler, Dave's told us. So these are the things we can look at. Okay, so if we go in, is it settings, Dave, for the filling loop? So we go into settings, we press OK. We can now see we've got the hydraulics, we've got heating, we've got hot water, we've got pump, special function, maintenance, we've got limit values, heating curves. So if you add weather comp, then you can set it to your heating curves. It's now telling me that I can't go any further than that, so that's as far as I've got. So where's the filling loop, mate?
Special function.
In special function. Just like me and Martin, we're special, aren't we, Martin?
You're very special.
We're very special. Okay, so we want the special function, we press OK. It's a bloody good job we've got Dave anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see we've got ventilation function. So again, like all the other Worcester boilers, we can put this in the vent mode. So you can purge it through the pump. Siphon fill program. Okay, press OK on that. It says please wait. It says it's in off. On boiler minimum, on heating minimum. We've got three-way mid-position valve. Press that. You can have it in yes or no. And then we've got filling. Press OK. And it says we've got minimum and maximum target values we can set this at. Okay, so action filling says please wait. You can turn it on or off. Why would you have an automatic fill, which is an extra on this, an optional extra? Then why would you want to turn it off? Anyway, I know yeah, okay. So minimum, press OK. Says please wait again. It's set at 0.8 bar. You can preset this to whatever you want, but you can see the minimum arrow is not lit. Okay, so it's been set to 0.8. Okay, so we come back we can now see our target system pressure. Press OK. It's now set at 1.3. Okay, we can now set that higher, but it's been preset no lower than 1.3. Okay, so we can go back and we can go minimum refill time, press OK. It's set for 60 seconds. Now Dave tells us when you're filling your heating system for the first time, you need to know how long it takes from the minimum to the maximum pressures to fill up. Otherwise, if you don't know that, then you're going to struggle when it's not going to fill. It's going to shut itself off before you've actually filled the system. So that's one of the things you need to look out for. And then we've got blocking time, and that's set at 12, what's WO?
Weeks.
Weeks. Okay, so it's 12 weeks. And there's also days, is there? Or is
No,
it just
it's just
weeks?
weeks.
Oh, it's just weeks. So that's set at 12 weeks. And again, we can go up or down with that because the arrows are lit. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go down. Maximum refills. So we can also tell it how many refills we want it to do in 12 months.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is set for 3, so that it'll only fill 3 times in 12 months. We've got to remember, guys, all right, we've got these fancy things, but there's nothing better than a customer ringing you saying the boiler's not working and all you got to do is top it up. Okay? Don't want to be losing call out money, do we? Okay, so let's go back. Okay, and then we've got reset filling, so that will set it all the way back to the beginning again. Okay, so we want to come out of that, come out of that, come out of that, and come out of that. So that's a look at some of the stuff what this boiler will actually do. It will do loads of other stuff, okay? Dave's just gone right the way through all this. Me and Martin went, what the hell's going on? Okay, so that we've never touched this before, we've never seen it before, but it's still, alright, I had Dave in the background telling me where I was cocking up, but it's still quite easy without the book to scroll through it. Putting a light on a button to tell you whether you can use it. How easy is that? Okay, so let's take this cover back off again and have a quick look at this this valve. Now let's have a look at the fill valve a bit closer. Now this pipe you can see in front of it, which is in the way, that is a drain. So it drains off into the condensate. That's not for the PRV, that's so you can drain the boiler into the condensate. So this is the valve we're looking at. This is the little solenoid valve here. Now this, what you can see here, is our manual set. So when we're filling the boiler, first time we need to put that in manual override. Otherwise, whatever we've set on the front, the boiler will do it to that. Now Dave's just told us one of the things, if we do fit this, it comes as standard with the keyless filling loop. You know, the dodgy blue lever what you pull underneath. You have to stand there for hours or make something to keep it open. He said fit this first before you put the, was it fit it first? No, don't fit it until you put the boiler on the wall. Okay, I knew I'd cock it up somehow. So don't fit this until you've actually piped it up, because it's going to be in the way for your pipe work.
No, it's when you hang the boiler.
Okay, so
There's a good chance you're going to catch that.
right, okay, so that's coming from the master. Make sure you fit it after you've hung the boiler. Okay, I could see that being a problem anyway, that nut round the back. So that's what it looks like. And again, if we go back onto the PCB, come in, Martin. It's just plug and play. Okay, just a little plug down there, plug it onto there, and then it automatically comes up on the screen that you've fitted it. Okay, so it knows. So while we've got this cover down as well, this other little socket you can see here, this is where the cartridge goes for the rimstat. Okay, so this is the sender receiver to the RF rimstat. So that's a look at the boiler. Not fitted one yet. Okay, so I can't tell you how easy it is to fit, but it looks pretty damn easy, especially if you're changing it from a CDI. Worcester looks like they've actually listened to engineers for a change, like rounding off the edges and stuff like that, so we don't slice our fingers. The quality products, yeah, like with the gas valve has gone to a Honeywell valve. They do a SIP one as well, so yeah, they're using decent components. The heat exchanger is an old heat exchanger, which everybody knows is pretty much bulletproof. Dead easy to strip and clean as well. So time will tell how good this boiler is. Okay, but good starting point. Pressure relief valve at the front. A cover what you can take off with one screw. That's always a good start. Looks like your iPhone, if that's a good thing. Okay, so far so good. It controls. This is your Bosch Easy Control. This will connect to all Worcester boilers. Okay, not just the lifestyle boilers. It will go on to all of them. So this is your fancy control where your customer can make it again. Wonder where the designs come from. So yeah, looks like a phone, touchscreen, dead easy to use. Okay, so that going along with the boiler, all silver and black, you can't go wrong. Why would you not want to fit this one? Well, let's have a look at the others, what you can fit to it. This is the Comfort Plus 2, which will fit on the style only. No, it will go on life and style. Okay, where this one will only fit on the style. Okay, now the boiler, when you connect this to the boiler, the front panel of the boiler becomes the clock.
Oh, it's the Comfort one.
On the Comfort one. Yeah, thanks Dave. Told you it was good we had Dave here with us. Otherwise we'll be going again. Okay, so again they do a full range of controls. He hasn't got one of the cartridges to plug into what you can see plugging into the back of the boiler, but I'll put some pictures on for that as well because I've seen the pictures in the brochures. So again, it's plug and play. Again, it makes it easier for us. Again, it's Part P compliant. Again, it's got weather comp. Okay, so again, we're complying with all ERP because of the pump. Again, we're complying with Boiler Plus because it's got weather comp. So Worcester are making the controls for this boiler. Why would you not want to fit Worcester controls with a Worcester boiler? Okay, because it's intelligent, it talks to the boiler. It's not like something like a hive where it'd be turning it on and off. This will actually talk to the boiler will learn everything. It's the way forward. Okay, so always think fitting, whether it's a Worcester, whether it's anybody's boiler out there, if they make their own controls, fit them. Learn how to fit them. They're dead easy, they plug in. The boilers learn off the customer's ways of living. So why would you not want to do that? It might cost a little bit more, but you're passing that cost on to the customer anyway, and it'll be a lot easier to set up. Okay, so that's a quick look at the controls. Okay, so just to finish off and to sum up, one of the major things with boilers and all boilers is warranty, but Worcester don't call it a warranty, they call it a guarantee. That means they'll guarantee to fix your boiler, hopefully. Okay, so they have filters. So the new boiler, the lifestyle boilers out of the box, they come with a 5-year guarantee for us non-accredited installers. But if we fit one of these little beauties, and if you look at it, it does look like an AD filter, and it is made by them, so it will be a quality filter. It's slightly different, they've got some fancier nuts on the back here, so, and it's slightly different. But this will increase by 2 years, so give you a 7-year warranty, and obviously if you're an accredited installer you have a 10-year warranty. So guarantee, not warranty, remember that, guarantee. Okay, so that's their guarantees, and they say they will fix it. It's not the customer's fault that we've cocked up, but they will come along and fix it. Okay, so that's a quick look and a quick overview. I'd just like to thank Lee Kane for actually getting this organised for us, and we'd like to thank Dave, the trainer who's brought this truck along to Tomcat for us to do this. So thanks Worcester for this, and hopefully it's been good for you. It's been good for me and Martin, hasn't it, Martin?
Absolutely brilliant.
It's been great to meet Dave. So if you do want to see this truck, I'm sure it'll be round at your local plumbers merchants. I think you can speak to your local rep and get them to sort it out for you like we did. It's a must. If you're going to fit these boilers, you need to speak to Dave, you need to get it sorted out. So if you're in the northwest, what other areas do you do, Dave?
Yorkshire, North Wales.
Can't tell from his accent where he comes from anyway. So if you're in any of the northwest areas around this side, then get in touch with your local rep and get this van and get on it and have a look at this boiler. Okay, so don't ever think I'll have Worcester on my shirt yet, but I'll fit one and then we'll see what happens. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon.